Ni hao, backers, and welcome to this special edition of our behind-the-scenes video. Now, the whole idea of these videos have always been to take you along for the ride in this adventure and give you a peek at what's going on behind the scenes. So right from the start, we've tried to work with our manufacturers in China to bring you footage of the actual production of Thermodo. Now, the Chinese can be quite secretive, and honestly, making video is not their area of expertise. After months of pulling, we had all but given up on the idea of getting factory floor production footage. But last week, we had a colleague of ours pass through the area, and through a lucky set of circumstances, he was able to take some footage of the production. Now, what you're about to see is a very candid look at how Thermodo production is underway. It's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of what parts of the production is covered, but I'll try to explain what we're seeing as we move through the steps. So let's take a trip to China and look at a couple of the processes underway in the production of Thermodo. Let's start out by looking at one of the more advanced and time-consuming parts of the process: the electrode engraving of the premium Thermodos. This shows the electrode moving up and down. It has a whole set of Thermodo logos underneath it, and it erodes into the raw aluminum enclosures. Here you see the result of the engraving. These Thermodos will go on to be surface treated and turn into both natural and green anodized beauties. Here you see one of the earliest steps in the process. This machine is equipped with the bare aluminum profile, which is several meters long. The machine moves the bare aluminum pole forward, turns it to the correct diameter, drills a hole into the cap, and cuts it to the correct length. Here we see how the soldering paste is applied to the PCB panels through the stencil. This machine is pushing the stencil on the panel, and the wiper is pushing the paste evenly on the solder pads. Here we see the placement of the electrical components on the PCB panels. The video shows 3 panels with 60 PCBs on each, meaning this machine assembles 180 Thermodo PCBs with 540 components at high speed. Afterwards, the panels move through the reflow oven where the actual soldering process is happening. This next part is really cool. This machine contains the adhesive to attach the aluminum housing to the mini jack with the electronics. The machine applies a constant pressure on the syringe with the adhesive while the aluminum body is spinning with a constant velocity. This ensures that every cap is mounted with an evenly distributed amount of adhesive that ensures the same mechanical strength for every Thermodo. What we're seeing here is the hand soldering process. This is the assembly of the PCB with the electronics to the mini jack. We can see the custom-made jig with 10 PCBs and 10 mini jacks, meaning they are soldering Thermodos in batches of 10. After the Thermodo enclosures receive their body paint, the logo is applied with a special built stamp tool, which we can see here. The body is held in place by a jig that ensures that the logo is always straight and at the right position. The paint gets distributed fresh and evenly for every stamp, which ensures a nice print every time. Once the logo is stamped onto the body, a thin and even layer of high gloss coating is applied, which protects the logo and makes Thermodo scratch resistant and shiny. What we're seeing here is a rather large batch of black Thermodo housings ready for final assembly. Notice how he's holding up our approved sample to see if the production units match up. At the quality control, they check the depth of the engraving. The depth must be the same all along the logo with a tolerance of only 0.05 millimeters. They use this cool microscope to evaluate the edges of the engraving. I want to end up back at another shot of the engraving process. It's such an impressive machine. There's obviously a lot of stuff not depicted here, things like the overmold process and the actual assembly and packaging. But beggars can't be choosers, and we're happy that we got to show you this honest look at the production. We hope you enjoyed the trip. Until next time.